The night was a heavy blanket, smothering the world in darkness as I approached the abandoned train depot. Its silhouette stood stark against the moonless sky, a relic of forgotten times. My heart raced with a mixture of excitement and trepidation as I stepped onto the cracked platform. Security guards patrolled the quiet station grounds throughout the night, their footsteps echoing in the stillness. They were the only living souls in this desolate place, their presence a stark reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. As I approached the ticket counter, a chill ran down my spine. The air felt heavy with the weight of untold stories, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. But I pushed aside my fears and focused on the task at hand. The ticket counter loomed before me, its windows boarded up and its paint peeling with age. But as I reached out to touch it, I felt a strange warmth emanating from within. It was as if the depot itself was alive, pulsing with the energy of 1,000 lost souls. With trembling hands, I brushed away the dust and cobwebs that had gathered on the counter. And as I did, I felt a strange compulsion to speak, as if the very walls were urging me to tell their story. And so I began, my voice barely a whisper in the silence of the night. I spoke of commuters from a bygone era, unknowingly purchasing tickets to a spectral train journey bound for destinations unknown and unrevealed. With each word, the air seemed to crackle with electricity, and I could feel the eyes of unseen spectators upon me. It was as if the spirits themselves were listening, eager to relive their final moments before slipping into the void. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the atmosphere shifted. The air grew thick with tension, and I could sense a presence lurking in the shadows. It was as if something had been awakened, something dark and malevolent. Panic seized me as I realized the danger I was in, but it was too late to turn back. I had unleashed forces beyond my control, and now I was at their mercy. The old carriage creaked in the silence of the night, its rusted wheels grinding against the tracks as it emerged from the darkness. And as it drew closer, I knew that my fate was sealed. For in that moment, I realized the true horror of the depot. It was not just a place of forgotten memories, but a gateway to a realm of darkness and despair. And now, I was its prisoner, doomed to wander its haunted halls for all eternity. And so, as the phantom train pulled into the station, I closed my eyes and surrendered to the darkness. For in the end, there are some stories that are better left told, and some horrors that are better left unseen. The train's arrival shattered the eerie silence, its wheels screeching against the tracks like the anguished cries of lost souls. I felt a cold sweat bead on my brow as I stared into the abyss of the train's yawning doors. With a reluctant step, I boarded the spectral locomotive, my heart pounding with a mixture of dread and fascination. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay, and the dim light flickered ominously, casting long shadows that danced like spectres in the night. I searched desperately for a way out, but the train seemed to stretch on endlessly, its corridors twisting and turning like the labyrinth of my own nightmares. Each carriage I passed was a testament to the horrors that lay within, filled with the echoes of past passengers who had met untimely ends. As I stumbled through the darkness, I felt a presence stalking me from the shadows, its malevolent gaze burning into my soul. I could hear its whispers on the wind, taunting me with promises of eternal torment. Time lost all meaning as I wandered deeper into the bowels of the train, my footsteps echoing in the emptiness. It was as if I had become trapped in a waking nightmare, unable to escape the clutches of my own fear. And then, just when I thought I could go no further, I stumbled upon a door shrouded in darkness. With trembling hands, I pushed it open, revealing a sight that chilled me to the core. Before me lay a vast expanse of nothingness, a void so deep and empty that it seemed to swallow the very essence of my being. I knew then that I had reached the end of the line, that there was no escape from this twisted realm of the unknown. And so, with a heavy heart and a sense of resignation, I stepped out into the void, allowing it to consume me whole. For in that moment, I realized that I was not just a storyteller, but a victim of my own creation, doomed to wander the endless expanse of the unknown for all eternity. As I plunged into the abyss, a sense of overwhelming despair washed over me like a tidal wave. I could feel myself being pulled deeper and deeper into the darkness, my very essence unraveling with each passing moment. Memories of the life I once knew flashed before my eyes, fleeting glimpses of loved ones and moments of joy slipping through my fingers like grains of sand. I reached out desperately, trying to cling to the fragments of my former existence, but they slipped away from me like wisps of smoke. In the depths of the void, time became meaningless, an endless expanse of nothingness stretching out before me in all directions. I was adrift in a sea of shadows, lost to the world and forgotten by time. And yet, amidst the darkness, there was a glimmer of hope, a faint flicker of light in the distance. With renewed determination, I pushed forward, driven by the belief that somewhere beyond the void, there was still a chance for redemption. But as I drew closer to the light, I realized that it was not salvation that awaited me, but something far more sinister. For beyond the veil of darkness lay a realm of unimaginable horror, a twisted landscape of nightmares made real. I recoiled in terror as the true nature of the void was revealed to me. A realm of unspeakable torment, where the boundaries between reality and illusion blurred and twisted beyond recognition. And in that moment, I knew that I was doomed, condemned to wander this accursed realm for all eternity, a prisoner of my own making. I had sought to uncover the secrets of the unknown, but in doing so, I had become a part of it, forever lost to the world of the living. And so, as the darkness closed in around me, I surrendered to my fate, knowing that there was no escape from the horrors that awaited me in the depths of the void. For in the end, there are some stories that are better left untold, and some mysteries that are better left unsolved. As I drifted deeper into the abyss, a profound sense of isolation enveloped me, gnawing at my sanity like a relentless predator. I clung to the fragments of my shattered consciousness, desperately trying to find a foothold in the darkness. Memories of my former life taunted me, mocking me with their fleeting glimpses of happiness and warmth. I longed to return to those moments of bliss, to feel the sun on my face and the embrace of loved ones once more. But the void offered no solace, no respite from the relentless onslaught of despair. It was a realm of twisted reflections and shattered dreams, where reality itself seemed to bend and warp with every passing moment. And yet, amidst the chaos, there was a glimmer of hope, a faint whisper of salvation that echoed in the depths of my soul. With trembling hands, I reached out towards the light, desperate to escape the clutches of the void. But as I drew closer, I realized that the light was not what it seemed. It was a false beacon, a cruel illusion designed to lure unsuspecting souls into its grasp. And in that moment, I knew that I was lost. Lost to the darkness, lost to the void, lost to the endless expanse of the unknown. And so, with a heavy heart and a sense of resignation, I surrendered to the void, allowing it to consume me whole. For in the end, there are some battles that cannot be won, some demons that cannot be defeated. And as the darkness closed in around me, I closed my eyes and let go, knowing that my journey had reached its end. For in the depths of the void, there is no escape, no redemption, no salvation. There is only the endless expanse of nothingness, stretching out before me like an eternity of despair. In the suffocating embrace of the void, I felt myself unraveling, my very essence dissolving into the infinite darkness. Memories of a life once lived flickered like dying embers, fading into obscurity as I surrendered to the inevitable. Time became meaningless in the depths of the abyss, a relentless march of emptiness stretching out before me like an eternity of torment. I longed for release, for the sweet embrace of oblivion to wash over me and extinguish the flames of my suffering. But there was no escape, no reprieve from the relentless onslaught of despair. I was trapped in a prison of my own making, condemned to wander the endless expanse of the unknown for all eternity. And so, as the darkness closed in around me, I let out a final mournful cry, a desperate plea for salvation that echoed into the void. But there was no answer, no salvation to be found in the depths of the abyss. And as my consciousness faded into oblivion, I knew that I was lost. Lost to the void, lost to the darkness, lost to the endless expanse of the unknown. And in that moment, I embraced my fate, surrendering to the darkness and allowing it to consume me whole.